Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I am back in Raid Shadow Legends today. Real quick before we hop into it, question of the video: who is your most wanted champion in the game and why? At this point, I would have to say for me personally, it's going to be one of two. First of all, it would either be Duchess, she is a fantastic champion, or the second option, it could be wrong faction, would be Barbarians and Valkyrie, wherever she might be right here. Two of the champions I've wanted for the longest time in the game. Let me know down below who yours is and why, and you know how long you've been playing the game. It'd be interesting to see who you want and who you haven't got and how long you've been wanting them for. So what we're going to be talking about today, and I will probably throw in some footage right now, probably up here somewhere, one way or the other. This is going to be a champion review on Harima, which is one of the, if not the best defensive nuker in the game by far, once you consider her passives and, you know, just her skills overall. She is an absolutely fantastic champion, so I'm going to be kind of showcasing her, giving you my thoughts on her, seeing what I think. So I would rate her pretty much a 5-star everywhere, except maybe except maybe Demon Lord. She doesn't really bring a lot for that apart from just damage, but overall this champion's absolutely fantastic, as you can see by the ratings. I'm going to show you the gear here. So we got nothing too special on the gear. You can see we got some crit rate, some speed, some crit damage. This is from the set that you can easily farm from hard Doom Tower or regular Doom Tower, just depending on where you are in the game. It's going to be from Dark Fae. I do have, I believe, a Dark Fae team guide on my channel. If not, I do have to get around to making that. So obviously what would be better here is having defense on the boots and then some speed and crit damage rolls, but it is what it is. I actually have an attack banner, which don't do this. This makes no sense. I put the attack banner on her because I need the reaction set, or rather I want the reaction set. As soon as I get a defense banner, I'm going to be throwing that on her. I think I did actually have a defense banner from reaction at one point, but I sold it by mistake. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But overall, fantastic stats on her. I would say 5,200 defense, 44,000 HP, 240 speed, and 235% crit damage. You'll see in the videos that are going to be playing again, probably up here somewhere. She is fantastic for arena battles. She is fantastic pretty much everywhere in the game. Let's go ahead and go over her kit and see why that is. So A1 attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a decrease attack. Also has a 50% chance of placing that decrease attack on all enemies for 2 turns if the attack is critical. Her A2, she's going to attack one enemy 3 times. Each hit decreasing the target's defense by 5% stacks up to 30%. So basically, the small version of a decreased defense debuff is going to be on everybody as long as she does this skill enough times. Each hit also increases her defense up to 5%, or sorry, by 5% up to 100%. So basically, the defense you're going into the battle with, you can essentially double that, which is fantastic. And she instantly activates her A3 if this skill kills an enemy. So the A3 is attacks all enemy, placing a provoke for 1 turn. This cannot be blocked or resisted if the target champion is from the Demon Spawn faction. So that's part of the reason you see her with not a whole lot of accuracy on my team, is just because I don't really use her as a provoke champion. I'm mainly just landing this against Demon Spawn champions. And enemy ignore defense effects are decreased by 50%. So that means Helm Smasher, that means your Savage sets, that means Cruel sets, that means Skills Ignore Defense. Everything gets reduced by 50%. Additionally, champions from the Demon Spawn faction cannot inflict critical hits on her, and she cannot land weak hits on champions from the Demon Spawn faction. So if you think about how many champions from the Demon Spawn faction are actually in the meta, especially in a place like Arena right now, if we look through here, right, so Prince Kaimar is a great example. Hefrak, we got Kandrafon, we got Kutraxa, who's not really meta so much anymore. We got Neithwi, we got Helikath, we got Duchess, we got Mortu, we got Withier, we got Magnar in here. We got so many champions that are fantastic in the arena that she's basically just a direct counter for. And then even if you look at somebody else who's just nuking it down, like say Ray, for example, and she's built out to ignore defense, right? She's still getting 50% of that defense ignore reduced by Harima's passive. So overall, this champion is absolutely fantastic. So I think one of the places you're probably going to get the most use out of Harima is in the arena or the tag team arena. And I want to show you today the types of teams that you would want to target with her. So I actually have one built out specifically around her here. So we got a fairly free-to-play friendly team around her. So we got Harima, of course, we got Ukko, we got UDK, and we got Pythion. So I'm going to go ahead and start For a lot of people, taking on two Macabres might be a little bit intimidating, especially if you're using AoE champions like Uko. But in this particular case, I think we will be perfectly fine. You can see there the peril came in from the first Mortu, and it did essentially nothing to either of my champions that were hit by it, so definitely does help. So if you didn't know, Mortu's peril does ignore all defense, but with her on the team, it's actually going to only be ignoring 50% defense. Additionally, she is going to be targeted by Mortu because of affinity match, which means that Mortu actually can't critical hit against her. So a very, very good synergy there. And of course, the Mortus are going to get provoked very easily by her as well. I understand that facing two lone champions in the arena probably isn't the best showcase, but it helps you to get an understanding of her kit and how it works and the synergies and all that sort of good stuff. So again, basically just any team in here that's heavy on the demon spawn champions. So that's mainly what I'm going to be targeting. I'm just going to hit a refresh here. And this, as you can see, it's like high up in Gold 5 Arena too. So these aren't chump teams by any means. This would actually be a perfect team to fight, I think, so we're going to go ahead and send it against them. We got two Demon Spawn champions that can be provoked. We got a heavy buff team here, so this team is mainly based around just buffing everybody to hell and back. And the triple hitter on the A2 is going to help to get around something like a UDK as well, whereas some of the other nukers in the game that you see, they are only going to be, you know, single target hitters or double hitters, that sort of thing. So we didn't really strip a whole lot of buffs there. Actually, I do need to rebuild my Uko at some point. I have him built out in stun set for when he was really OP in that, if you guys remember that era of the game before we got that nerfed. But I need to rebuild him into probably just a regular set so he has a bit more accuracy, because that's kind of where he's lacking at the moment. So you can see there, Helicath and Duchess are now provoked. Nothing they can do about it. Too bad. How sad. And I do think I'll probably have to cut to the end of this battle just because it is going to take a while, but slowly over time, with Harima decreasing enemies' defense and whatnot, we are going to win the fight, so I'll just cut back to when it finishes. So at this stage in the fight, we have actually taken down the Duchess. UDK was unfortunate enough to get polymorphed there by my Uko, which is perfect. So with him out of the equation, it was a lot easier to take down the Duchess. You can actually see there, though, the Uko still landing some stuns, which is very useful as well. Overall, though, this battle is going to go a lot quicker now that we have Duchess out of the running. And the UDK has just gone down to Harima's A2. We're getting so close here to chunking them all down. And you can see this is an absolute tank of a team that would be pretty scary to fight with most teams, especially if you're using like a speed team or something like that, right? It'd be very intimidating, but we took them down in about 4 minutes and 13 there, which is nothing crazy. I'm not setting any world records, but nor am I trying to. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and try a team like this. It should be significantly quicker since you know, we don't have a Duchess in the mix and we don't have a Valkyrie in the mix. So let's see what we can do. I'll actually put it on auto here. She gets polymorphed, which is perfect. I want to try and strip some of the buffs there from the Mortu, but that is okay. We still get the block buffs on the Doom Priest, which is nice because that will allow us to take her down in one hit, activating the A3 for free, and then when she cycles back around to it, we can just activate the A3 again, which is pretty handy. So I would... Oh, no, she A1s. Okay. We got a stun coming in on the champion that's already sheeped. A little bit of overkill there from Uko, but that's okay. And there we go. Madame is back up and alive. Now, though, the Mortu is not protected. You do see his, I think it's lightning cage there, excuse me, that activated, so thus he was not able to get provoked. But that's it. Game over. We did this in 55 seconds. I know there's going to be a couple of what if Andys down in the comments that are going to say, well, my speed team with Marichka and Terrace could easily do this in like 10 seconds, so I don't know what you're on about. Well, guess what? I don't have Marichka and Terrace. Not everybody in the game is that much of a whale.